All right, thank you for staying with us. It's been over 2 months since the President Tinubu announced the removal of fuel subsidy. And since then, Nigerians have had to bear the brunt of high cost of transportation, food prices, amongst others. Now, President Tinubu has approved the establishment of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative to ease the effect of the removal of by reducing energy costs. According to the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajiri Ngelale, on behalf of Mr. President, the initiative, which targets over 11,500 new CNG-enabled vehicles and 55,000 CNG conversion kits for existing PMS-dependent vehicles. This landmark initiative is also set to stimulate economic growth, create employment opportunities, and bolster the nation's automotive manufacturing capabilities. Well, joining us in the studio to discuss more on this newly approved initiative is the National Operations Controller, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Mike Osatui. Good morning.
Thank you for
joining us.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Now, let's begin with this initiative, how different it is from the previous CNG plan that we had. You recall that there was a plan sometime that there should be about 2,000 or so. That was like 2 years ago, and there was a plan in place for this matter of CNG-enabled vehicles in the country. But that didn't seemingly see the light of day, and now we are returning to that plan, so to speak. I'm wondering what your impressions are of this decision by the government to push forward this CNG conversion kits as well as enabled vehicles.
Yeah, I think this government is more serious now about CNG for our vehicles. Yeah, last 2-3 years, yes, there was a plan, but there was no action. But now the president has given a directive that this must be done. And I think with the partnership of NNPC and IMCO to put about 35 conversion center and CNG stations nationwide, I think we should be. Very good action is being taken place now. And we have to also thank the president for that initiative, which will benefit Nigerians, because it's cheaper. If you go to Ibadan there, in front of MFM, it's 200 per kg. Ibadan has opened also. Ibadan CNG has opened in Ibadan. Also, it's 230 per kg. So it's about 1/3 of the cost of petrol. And it even covers more mileage than petrol. So the only problem that we may have, which I know, is that the cost of the conversion, government has to come into that area, because it's quite expensive to convert. There are so many areas they can do. Government has to come in really in that area, in assisting Nigerians. But the cost of conversion, depending on your vehicle, we have 8-plug, how big your vehicle is. But it has been done in Indonesia and Bangladesh that if the government can convert for us free and put the cost of the conversion on the CNG package, like if it is 200 now per kg, they can charge us 210. So as you are refilling, you are paying back the cost of that conversion. Right. That's the area that government has to look in. There's no two way about it. Because to convert a vehicle now, if it's a small vehicle, about 400,000.
About what?
Yeah, 400,000.
400.
Yes, that is true. I'm converting my own vehicle this week. It's going about it's a big vehicle anyway. It's about 680,000. Right. But if you look at the overall, the long
term benefit.
The benefits, you can maybe in a month you can't spend more than 20,000 of gas.
Quite interesting.
I'm telling you. But to fill a vehicle now, you know what it costs. But for CNG, I mean, it's a good initiative by President Tinubu. And Nigeria should embrace it, and there should be more action from the NPC side and government side.
So, you know, talk about diffusion of innovation. You are an early adopter, so I will put it, because you're already working on, you know, converting
your vehicle.
Your vehicle. But a lot of Nigerians are still feel like this is more like, you know, speaking Greek. What exactly is CNG? We've always known kerosene all our lives. We've always known petrol all our lives. Exactly what is this CNG? And the fact that how do you see that, you know, to ensure the accessibility and affordability? You've talked about the government should come in, adding maybe 10 naira. Nobody wants to hear about incrementing the price of anything, because we are still battling with that of petrol. So if you are telling us that this is something cheaper, but we'll still be adding some little amount of money, nothing goes up in Nigeria and expect that it comes down.
No, what I'm saying is not what you are saying. If you don't have money to convert, and somebody is paying for you, right, then you have to pay back. So, right, you are paying back the cost of the conversion. You can't get your vehicle converted free. And if government will give you the grace to do it for you free, then you have to pay back. But to make it very simple, as you are refilling, maybe once in 2 weeks or once in 10 days, you are paying back that conversion cost. That's easy, because, you know, Nigeria, nobody can put out that kind of money now. But we have to work it out. How do we work it out? Is okay. Government can say, you know, they are putting a conversion center in all the states now, right? You know, it's going to be gradual, right? But I think the best thing is for people to go on CNG. Compared to guys is cleaner. In fact, you will service your car twice in a year, because there's less carbon.
Right.
Yes, there's no less carbon if you're using CNG. So you don't need to be servicing your car every month or so. So government has to really come in the area of conversion cost. And you know that we have gas in this country.
Yes, yes.
We're number 1 in Africa, number of reserve.
Yes.
We're number 9 in the whole world, right? So the question of importing is not the issue. Is right here on ground. So, and it's cheaper, very cheap. If you are talking 200 naira per kg, and it even cover more than 600 naira, we are buying petrol. Then why should we are wasting our time?
Right.
So it's a good initiative by the president, that he has flagged it off, and he has mandated NPC that do this. They have to action CNG.
Why is the conversion so expensive, though?
How much are you buying dollars? If you know what I'm talking about.
So those materials will have to be imported.
To be imported.
The skill has to be imported, and it's a dollarized market. So we have no choice than to key in, and but at the same time, it pay off. It pay off, right? If you are filling your vehicle, right, with about 10,000 or 8,000 naira, right, compare with 30,000 or 35,000. You know the meaning. If I'm sure you must have experienced how much you have filling your vehicle.
Of course.
So,
of course.
right.
Anyway, now the other matter, sorry to come, is the matter of investors coming in. There's been talks about incentivizing investors to invest in the CNG processing, distribution, and utilization and partnership. Now, when we are talking about incentivizing investors, what do you expect from perhaps government? What should be the framework for incentivizing them?
Well, there can be, if a government, they have all it takes to attract investors. You can give them $1,000 a day. You can give them so many incentives to make it attractive, right?
Like what?
Like soft loan to the investors, so that this CNG can be everywhere throughout the country, and the facilities are on ground. Like Ipman, the members' stations are open. right? Like if you refill your cylinder, cooking gas. Our stations are open for government to key in, so that people can just drive in and fill up your your vehicle. So we have the infrastructures already on ground, stations, both Ipman station, Moman station, and pocket of.
It's just to install the.
They can install it, or the skills there. So we have the facilities on ground already, and you know that Ipman, we have our stations everywhere in Nigeria, both hamlets, villages, and cities, and nothing. So government just have to give a support, right, by giving too many incentives to the investors, and we are good to go.
No, that was why I wanted you to perhaps itemize some of these incentives that you feel is necessary and will help these investors better.
Money,
Basically.
loan. You can't do anything.
What about the enabling environment?
Enabling environment.
Businesses to thrive.
No, we already got the infrastructure on ground. The stations are there. So we need now to deploy money, right, to people that want to invest. Soft loan, 9%, maybe, but you are aware. So, once you give them incentives of soft loan with a very long term of payment, maybe 4 or 5 years, then we are good to go.
We're talking about money because we know that is as a result of lack of fund. That's the reason why this fuel subsidy is also removed. So are you saying that this money that would otherwise would have gone to fuel subsidy, fuel subsidy payment should now be used as a loan for these maybe private investors who will be coming into the country, because there's still money that the government needs to do a lot of things. Talk about the road infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera.
You cannot eat your cake and have it.
Absolutely.
Right? If we are saving trillions now every month on subsidy, which we have to thank the government for taking that boot step, right? That on the subsidy removal, but at the same time they are now creating an option for Nigerians in terms of this CNG.
And they still have to spend money.
No, you can't do that without. You have to invest. CNG is a long time benefit, right? It's a benefit for Nigeria. So you have to invest. But the point is that the money we have been wasting for years on this subsidy is now coming now to the government to use for Nigerians in terms of infrastructure, as you have said, roads, medical, and what have you. So if government this is an area that has been abandoned for decades. Mm-hmm. This gas. In fact, we're not supposed to be talking about gas now. It's supposed to have been done over years. Nothing gone. So, but if President Tinubu now, in his wisdom, now say, okay, let me save money here and invest here for benefit of Nigerians. We have this gas. Mm-hmm. We are flying it every day.
Yes.
But now we want to use it now for Nigerians. So I think it's a good. It's a good initiative, and it's a long-term benefit for Nigeria. If you convert your vehicle now, you won't do it again tomorrow, right? And it's a revolving situation, right? In fact, there was a time about 2 years ago, the government, I think about 4 years ago, the government want to compel that any vehicle coming to Nigeria must have been converted. For saying before you can clear it in the port. It's dual. It just put petrol and CNG. So if government can also be that one in place too, that any vehicle that is coming to Nigeria must be CNG compliance. You can't clear it. So it will now remove the cost of this conversion we are talking about. Yes, it's doable.
Right.
Why do we have to say any vehicle coming? Why don't we talk about our own
production?
Yeah, exactly. Why don't we talk about?
No, the one that is the one that is already here needs to be converted. But to remove all these conversion costs, any new vehicle coming.
What he is saying is, why are we not looking at producing whatever it is needed to make this conversion easy so that it's affordable for Nigerians producing it in
I
Nigeria?
mean, government can do it.
Right.
If I mean, it's doable. Right? If government also want to invest on that, it's doable. Right? You can do it. So there's nothing wrong about that. That for us to be producing in Nigeria, yeah, it will create job and make life easier. But at the same time, we have to do with what we have as at now. Right?
Right. So,
Okay. So, but then there are also matters of concerns. We recall how we've had issues with gas accidents
yeah.
and all of it. Now we'll be having this on the roads, and we know the number of accidents we've recorded in this part of the world. In a year, we've had a number of accidents. I'm wondering where your concern is with regards to people, managing themselves and ensuring that they do not, we do not have these reoccurring accidents on the roads with regards to this conversion of vehicles to CNGs. Do you have concerns in that area? How the orientation of people with how to manage their driving now that they'll be using gas? We know how the accidents could be dangerous.
Yeah, the best thing is for people to ensure that they comply with safety measures, right? Even with petrol, we also have accidents, right? So with gas too, there will be accident. That one is not, it's avoidable if we are very careful and we comply with our safety measures. But people have to be orientated and lectured and to taught that, okay, don't do ABC when you are having this. You can imagine people, if you have gas cylinder in your vehicle and you are smoking, that's a deliberate act. So people have to comply with, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So to minimize the risk and the accidents. But at the same time, you cannot 100% say there won't be accident, but it has to be minimized, and Nigerians also must comply with the safety rules in use of gas.
I understand that, because now if you go to some remote areas, they've not even accepted, they've not adopted gas, LPG, for cooking. They will say, they are comfortable with their firewood, they are comfortable with their kerosene. So I also heard some experts talking about the CNG, saying that the cylinder is bulletproof and it cannot be penetrated by bullets. I don't know how, the veracity of that claim. But if people find, with the way you said it now, you were careful in talking about it, and we are still talking about people adopting it. So this is a challenge. So how does this key into the infrastructure and transportation systems in a way that it would definitely help the Nigerian economy, on a larger scale?
We're talking of cost. Cost. You cannot be cooking with kerosene that costs about 800 per liter, compared with CNG or LPG of 200. So that cost, that difference is enormous. Systemically, it will force people to comply because you cannot.
Even in remote areas.
We're talking of cost. 800 per kg of kerosene compared with 200 of CNG or LPG. You can't say because you're in a remote area and be bringing money. It's not possible. Even as I am, I have to do CNG because that cost, the difference is much. In fact, especially when you're using a bigger vehicle, right? A cylinder vehicle, how it consumes fuel. So Nigerians gradually will comply with using LPG or CNG because of the differential in the cost. And when you are now servicing your car twice in a year with CNG, would you prefer that one? You save so many costs. In fact, in my house, I even use gas for my generator now.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
there. So
I use gas in fact, in my stations. I did it about a month ago because it's safer, it's cheaper.
the
right?
motivation is because it's cheaper, so you don't want to
Cutting
be
costs,
spending.
yes.
You don't want to be
Costs.
spending much more.
You know, if you
Well,
are
that's what
using,
Nigerians are
and then
talking
again
about.
you are using gas, your staff cannot cheat you. I mean,
Really?
Yes.
This man is really business minded. So
because they can't see, they can't.
How so? Perhaps you need to explain it to those who are listening to understand.
No, I'm telling you that if you ask your boy or your staff to go and say 20 liters, they can say 15 and say it's 20. But for gas, they can't.
and gas has to be compressed. It has to be
Yes.
somewhere. It's not something you can pour in.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can.
Say,
Yes.
okay, take this in
Yeah.
gallon, and then it has to be in a
So
cylinder.
many benefits are in this gas issue.
Yeah.
And for federal government to have key into this gas operation is going to reduce costs, benefit Nigerians, but it will take some time. But at the same time, I implore Nigerians to
Embrace
key in
it.
and to embrace it for their benefits.
So the private sector, are you also advising them to come into it? Because she talked about investment opportunity for people who would do that. So if the private investors are coming in, we also talked about the enabling environment to be able to do that. Is it going to be tax the taxing on it? Will it be something that will be minimal or something that will be much? How would you speak to this?
Well, that one is in the hand of the government, but I believe that the government that has shown interest in this gas initiative will also provide a very enabling environment for the investors, because this is a green area. It's a new area.
Sustainable.
Sustainable, and the coast is very large, very big for new investors. And again, that we have the population to drive the market.
Yeah.
Yes, we have that advantage of a population. Right? We have to anybody who is investing in gas I know, in fact, NIMCO has done this thing over 13 years in Benin. More than 40% of vehicles in Benin are on gas, on CNG.
Even in Ghana.
Ghana has done that one for
a long time.
But I don't know. But thank God that we even have government that's want to drive it now.
Does it really key into the climate change, of the thing? It's saying that the
Yes.
global warming and all of that.
That's the matter of sustainable transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CNG is minimal carbon. The carbon emission is very minimal. So it's even environmental friendly. No pollution, nothing. Very, very minimal. Very minimal. Even I think about 1%. Right? So in terms of environmental friendly, super. No pollution. And even, in fact, if you try it, right, you will enjoy it. Gas. I don't know what happened to us in Nigeria that we abandoned this gas for over decades. I don't know. But we thank God that this government has come now to rescue Nigerians.
So on the whole, how comprehensive would you say this presidential plan is?
Let me say something to Nigerians.
Quickly.
Quickly. President Tinubu has done the best for us to have flag off this CNG and gas revolution. I will call it a revolution because he has given them the mandate that we have to go on gas now. So Nigerians should expect the benefit, and they should expect the best, from the country, because we don't need to import gas. We have it here abundant. So we should embrace it, and we should key in into whatever government have said about this gas.
And it's hopefully going to, help some job creations for
At the end of the day.
In fact, people who are going to be converting his job, people who are going to be, in fact, there are so many jobs in this area.
All right.
Yes.
We have to leave the conversation here now. We must thank you, Mike Osatuyi, National Operations Controller, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, for your time on the program.
Thank you.